In Oakland, California, the Roman Catholic Diocese built an impressive cathedral that was finished in 2008. It is called the Roman Catholic Cathedral of Christ the Light, and it cost $175 million. Impressive price tag for an impressive building. Yet, when victims of sex abuse by priests sued the Oakland Diocese just 2 years later, they declared bankruptcy, and open lawsuits were put on an indefinite hold. It enraged victims. Victims like Joseph Piscatelli, whose own case is on hold, quote, Oakland could get together enough money to build a $200 million cathedral not too long ago, but they can't get the money together to pay the child victims who they raped for decades, end quote, he told a reporter for The Guardian. He also said, they're morally and ethically bankrupt, but they're not financially bankrupt. Excellent point. In 2023, a wave of bankruptcies of Catholic dioceses across California happened, each of them citing an inability to pay damages from large numbers of sexual abuse lawsuits. Santa Rosa, Oakland, San Francisco, San Diego all declared bankruptcy in 2023. It's not a new phenomenon, though. The Catholic Church has been doing it for at least 20 years, since victims began standing up and suing for the abuse they suffered. When California changed its laws to give victims an opportunity to sue in a 3-year window, more than 2,000 victims filed cases. 330 of those sued the Oakland Diocese, and they would plead ignorance, as dioceses shifted bad priests from location to location to avoid facing abuse allegations. Representatives would say that no one could have expected so many abuse cases. Give me a break. They knew how many victims there were. They cannot claim ignorance once names of victims show up as plaintiffs in lawsuits. Critics of the tactic say it's a way for the church to silence them. They're forced into bankruptcy settlements rather than have their stories told in open court, decided by judges and juries. Defenders of the tactic will say, oh, it's just reorganization, a way for the diocese to group all the litigants together and reach a settlement with them. The church claims it's fairer to victims because they're all treated equally, while the church gets to continue its so-called sacred mission. The Oakland Diocese alone is said to have $3 billion in assets, so bankruptcy, well, it just feels disingenuous at best. It actually owns a property management company to manage its large amount of land and property. Some of it just empty land, and at least one is a shopping center. In reality, bankruptcy means that the diocese avoids the discovery process that's involved in civil litigation. They don't have to reveal records of what they knew or did not know in bankruptcy. Proof of the shuffling and protection of priests doesn't have to be disclosed to a bankruptcy court. Just, here's the money we say we have, and here's how we propose to settle all these suits. It's a flat-out cop-out that denies survivors all the information surrounding their abuse. In the case of the Oakland Diocese, and we're just using this as an example, during one suit, Oakland would deny they ever shuffled priests to protect them, but discovery would show, oh, they knew. They knew. Just as other dioceses knew. Shuffling pedophile priests was a common practice to hide what they've done to get them out of town. Bankruptcies also treat abuse survivors like categories. This group will get that. That group will get this. It takes away their identity, their individual stories, their individual trauma, and tries to put a rather arbitrary dollar amount to all of that. It re-traumatizes victims to be categorized, to have their right to information taken away, to have their stories silenced. Dioceses also have shifted assets to protect them from claims in the past, setting up trust funds, transferring money to parishes and to the Holy See, further victimizing the very people they now claim they want to help in a compassionate and equitable way. In the United States alone, at the time we wrote this, there are at least 14 dioceses in bankruptcy proceedings. These are Albany, Baltimore, which we talked about before, Buffalo, Camden, New Orleans, Norwich, Oakland, Ogdensburg, Rochester, Rockville Center, San Francisco, San Juan, Santa Fe, and Santa Rosa. Even more have gone through the bankruptcy process to completion already, with an estimated 1.5 to 5% of the Catholic clergy globally involved in sexual abuse cases. We won't see an end to this anytime soon. And meanwhile, in Oakland, survivor plaintiffs plan to challenge the bankruptcy of the diocese so that they can have individual trials, have their stories told, have their damages assessed by a judge and a jury, and not by what the diocese claims it can pay. Catholic dioceses the world over tried to make the abuse scandal go away by shifting priests, by silencing survivors. But survivors, well, they're not going to go away. And it's long past time for the diocese to deal with that, as they should have dealt with their pedophilic priests. If you're enjoying these videos and want more, don't forget to subscribe and turn on your notifications so that you don't miss any videos. Thank you for watching. We really appreciate it.